What's up, everyone? So it's been a while since I actually did a podcast in this podcast. So it's been like about 2 years. So things have changed for the past 2 years, and we have actually I decided to restart this podcast because I want to actually like talk about all the client wins and like the things we have achieved in the past 2 years, which I have been away from the podcast. So today we are going to bring in a special guest, one of our clients, who has been an athlete for the past 3 to 5 years, and he actually like is a special guest because one of the specialities is the fact that like he didn't actually like just compete for 2 times. Both times he didn't actually just win the shows he actually competed. He ended up winning his pro card twice, so in two different federations. So one of the things we have actually like used, not just helping general population lose weight and get in shape. So these are the people who have actually achieved greater things when it comes to competing. So without further ado, let's deep dive into this episode one, restart of the Beyond Pictures podcast. So welcome, Suhail. Suhail Nazim, how are you today? Like, how are you feeling today?
I'm good, coach. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us, I know who you are, but like you can actually introduce us, like what's your name and where you are currently living and what's your story?
Yeah, my name is Suhail Nazim, from Sri Lanka itself and from Kandy, born and brought up from in Kandy.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm living in Dubai, and currently I'm living in Dubai. It's been like for almost 5 years working with you, coach. Yeah. I had already inquired before COVID,
Yes.
1 year before COVID, and then COVID happened. Then again I came back to you. Then we started. I have done 2 seasons with
Yes.
you. Two special seasons actually.
Okay.
2 pro cards, 2 shows here.
Yes.
So one in Dubai and the second one in Dubai.
Yes.
Yeah, and Dubai one was super special for me because no one has a WNBF pro card from Sri Lanka. So I'm the only one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is super special. So since I started with you, it's been a journey. I have never slacked off from anything. Meals, my training, everything was on point. Like I would say, last 5 years with you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know that, right? Like
Yes.
putting in the work every single day.
Yep.
And so next few years going to be super exciting.
Yes. Definitely.
Planning to switch the category from men's physiques to bodybuilding. That's the goal.
Yes.
Putting more work on legs. Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah.
So we are actually focusing on building those bigger wheels because he's been strong with his, especially his quads. So he has actually done different varieties like during the process because a lot of people actually talk about like changing workouts regularly in order to shock the muscles. So think you will actually start going, but. You actually were the first people like who actually understood the process that like you don't need to change workouts regularly. You can still make progress. It's all about like changing exercise selections when you actually come to certain levels in your fitness journey, right? So if you were a complete beginner, things would have been different, but like you were not a beginner. So you have already trained 5 years prior to that, all by yourself, right?
Yeah.
What got you into fitness, Suhail? So how did the process began? What was the story behind that?
Yeah, actually, when I was in the college, when I was in school, I used to play rugby. So since I was a kid, I used to lift. And after moving to Dubai, I've been thinking about competing, but I had no idea about natural bodybuilding. I had no idea about with the natural bodybuilding, something called natural bodybuilding exists in the world. So luckily, you popped out me in my Instagram.
Yes.
So then only I knew, okay, there's something called ICN. I was just going through the ICN pages and all, and I thought, rather than going into that enhanced dark side,
Yeah.
okay, this is a good opportunity to start with. Yeah, so that is the point that I started the journey, and
Yeah.
I would say I'm so lucky, so lucky to have to coached by you because I've seen a lot of people get into that darker side and just ruin their life.
Yes.
And so super happy and super proud of myself. Yeah.
So speaking of that aspect, like a lot of people actually misunderstand you and like say like we can actually see in the comment section like being mentioning like you're not natty and all of those things. But to tell you like one of the things, Suhail is actually pretty much like 58 kilos like to 60 like when it comes to stage weight, right? Suhail, like tell us about like how you respond to those critics and like how do you deal with those things? Do you like
Yeah,
take it?
yeah. It's sometimes it's funny, It's funny. It is just because of, I would say, the low standard that people have set in this fitness industry when it's come to enhanced side. So, and they don't believe that naturally what we can actually achieve.
Yes.
Uh, everything is. I would say I take them in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is what motivates us.
Yes.
Ultimately, yeah, that is definitely
That's what
motivates
keeps
us.
us going. Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever
Definitely.
people say that, it's actually like take it as a compliment because that's something
Yeah,
that you can actually see. Like it
definitely. Yeah,
shows that the work you have put in. Because training to become a natural athlete, the process is different. Like we need to train the same muscle group. One of the things I know is the fact that like you need to train the same muscle group like at least like sometimes 2 to 3 times per week, not just once per week. So it's different process. You need to actually work longer periods, like not just
yeah,
months. It's actually sometimes 1 year, right, Suhail?
and more. Yeah, definitely more frequency per week, and getting recover from that is the hardest part. Yeah, so
Yes.
managing fatigue, managing stress, a lot of things when it comes to natural bodybuilding that people don't understand. And always our phases are much lengthy, much longer than this enhanced side. Like
Yes.
prep is going to be at least 6 months, or
Yeah.
sometimes more than 6 months. Off season is going to be more than 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
the process is different. So you have been like complying to the process and going through it because at the end of the day, it's a simple thing like you need to actually like get used to like in order to like do the process. But a lot of people like have the goal of competing long term. But one of the things they don't understand is the fact that like they're at a certain phase where the next 12 to 16 weeks is not about like competing. It's actually like about fat loss. You need to go through that process. So that's you're one of the examples which actually like if I were to tell you the truth, like the first time you competed you only took 6 months, but just because you took 6 months it doesn't mean like someone else in a different situation can't achieve it in 6 months. If you actually
yes,
like spoken to like one of our previous clients, he actually took like about 3 years to do his first show. Like initially he had done like his name is Dilshan Ranaraja, so shout out Dilshan Ranaraja. So he lost 30 kilos by himself and then he joined the program, and in 3 years time he ended up doing his first show and he ended up winning and doing great. So during that time when Suhail reached out to us, so were there any reasons what actually got you to reach out to us? Because ICN was something we actually built up 3 years ago where we actually like wanted natural athletes to compete, and that's been a process which has been going on. So many athletes have actually won pro cards. So how did you actually like got to know about ICN and everything?
yeah. Those days, I think you guys were the first set of group that started competing in ISCN, and no
Yes,
one else from Sri Lanka.
yes,
So probably that would be the reason that my eye catched you guys, caught
yes.
you guys. So yeah, so that
So
would be the reason, I think.
yes, definitely. So like if you actually like spoken to me like few years ago, like you probably have seen like a lot of athletes like we wanted to expand, and Suhail was one of the examples because not everybody is competing under ICN Sri Lanka from Sri Lanka. Some people are in certain parts of the world, but they are representing the country. So that's actually a great thing like which Suhail has done. So not only like ICN Federation, Suhail has actually done WNBF as well. So tell us about your fitness journey, where it started. When it comes to the exercises, we actually made like massive changes early days, and then we
Yeah,
actually kept the process simple. So
yeah,
speaking about like one of the things, like you were actually doing something with the deadlift before, and you were getting certain pains and like a lot of
yeah,
niggles. Like that's something we changed.
yeah. So when I started, uh, I would say the physique development side, the bodybuilding side. When I started initially, I used to like chop and cut a lot of exercises every single day that I'm going to the gym. Just like chasing that soreness, because I
Yeah.
used to think that more soreness means the great workout. So always definitely when we are keep changing on the exercises we are going to get that sonus, right? So
Yes.
I was doing that different rep ranges, a hell lot of exercise varieties every single day, probably sometimes ending up doing 15 exercise,
Yes.
sometimes 10 set of squats.
Yes.
I have no idea I survived
Yes.
those
Exactly.
days. And yeah, so when it comes, especially when it comes to deadlifts, probably my hinges are definitely, I would say my my hinges are always good, strong lifts. But those days I used to do that touch and pull method. So yeah, just bouncing on the floor. So that used to give me a lot of pain on my hips, on my lower back. So reaching out to you, you are the one who said, okay, this is not the way. So we'll change that to set and pull at the bottom. So yeah, so that worked, and we in few years, like it took me 5 years to reach that 210 kilos.
Yes.
So this, yeah, 5 years, not easy, not easy. 5 years.
Not
200, yeah.
an easy task, especially when you're not like 100 kilos or 100 or 120 kilos. It's different for a person who's natural and like pretty much like not even 70 plus kilos during the off season. So usually Suhail stays around, I would say 65, 70 mark. Like you haven't touched 70 much. Like you haven't been there.
Only once.
Yes,
Only
so
once.
you haven't stayed there for a longer period, like that's one of the things. And also when it comes to the drop and pull method, which Suhail was doing, like you were pulling like heavy weights. Like I used to do the same thing back in the day in 2018 or 2017. That gave me a lot of pain, and which ended up making me like go for a lot of therapy in order to recover from that. But one of the things you never did, like just like I did, was actually never skip training. You still did it. So with that small adjustment, it actually helped you like do a show in the first 6 months, right, sir? So like, how was the meals going on? Like, what are the things like you realize when it comes to like the meals, like with regards to calories? Because a lot of people like have this misconception saying that you need to consume like cut down carbs and like you need to drop water during prep. So tell me like about that part. Like that's one of the things you did not do in the process. Like we actually kept it in.
Yeah. So I started from back in the days before I started with you. Had no idea about macros, calories, and how to track them. And I have done like following these influencers meal plans from Instagram and YouTube. Those days, yeah, when I was a kid, yeah. So used to think, okay, certain food, the good sources of food, or broccoli and all. I hate them. Actually, I hate greens. I still used to eat just because of these influencers are eating them in social media. Yeah, after starting with you, as I remember, you sent me couple of meal plans initially. Then I used to track my macros using MyFitnessPal. You taught me that. So after that, it is just my meal plans. And so what I kept consistent was that I did meal plans. I did not hit macros as I go through the day. So that helped me to be on track always. So because what happens with a lot of people is that they try to hit their macros as they go through the day, grabbing stuff from here and there from supermarkets and all. So what happens with that is that the accuracy will not be there, I would say. Even though you are hitting the macros, accuracy will not be there. But for me, I would personally choose that option, doing the meal plans for the entire week. So I know that the accuracy is there. I'm more accurately when it comes to tracking macros, and that is pretty much the process when it comes to off season and the prep. But the prep, the special part is that no changes in the food sources. So 6 months, 24 weeks, 20 weeks, we are going to go with the same food sources. Because only, as you told me, that the biggest thing that we have to take care is our stomach. So gut issues, we definitely have to take care during the prep. So that is the reason that we don't change the food sources. And we actually don't do a lot of manipulations that I've seen some coaches. They do fat loading, carb loading, potassium, this, that, water cut. So we did not do a lot of, so less stress, but good work. So for me, I would say, coach, so since we since you got me to that like actual stage condition, so actually we don't have to do a lot of manipulations. So if you are like true stage condition.
Yes, exactly. Because one of the things like we did was we kept the meals like very simple. We actually focused on getting you used to a certain pattern. So when it comes to off season, like yes, you don't get cheat days. Like that's actually one of the things like people actually mistake about. It's just
Talk
that
about
like
cheat,
you do.
one unplanned meal per week, one
Yes,
or two
exactly.
unplanned meal. That's it.
So you actually like change your dinner like into something you usually have into like something you have outside. So that's actually an athlete's lifestyle. So you get used to eating similar meals regularly, and also the most important thing is like not feeling like you're in a mental jail. So it's not that broccoli is actually bad. It's just that like nobody likes to eat broccoli every day. It's all about like having variety and like enjoying the process. Even for a competitor, it's valid. I know like the last parts of the prep, like it gets a little bit hard. No matter like how much you consume, and your calories went like didn't go like very low towards the last part of the prep.
My lowest was 1,350, so
Yes.
not below that.
Yes, exactly. So that was actually the last few bits, like where we wanted to like lose a little bit more extra just to make sure you come in like in good condition. So that's why we actually focused on that. So tell us about your peak week on your first show to Mumbai. Like you went into a different country, and you actually took days off from work, and then you went there. And things were a little bit different. The food sources were different. It's not the same types of things you had, but you kept things simple. Even after the show,
Yeah.
you actually did the recovery process. You didn't go like
Yeah.
cheat meal after cheat meal, right?
Yeah. So yeah, so to be honest, I did not take any stress. I have given all the stress to you. Okay, you take care of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just followed what you have given. I
Yeah.
just followed the plan. I just followed the process. So you usually send me the week protocols at least 5 days back.
Yeah.
So yeah, just simple as that. So
Yeah.
even the timing is mentioned according to the show time, the stage time on the quick protocol. So just follow, simple as that, no stress. So if
Yeah.
you are, the problem is what I see with a lot of people, they uh, get stressed just because of things are not planned prior.
Yeah.
So that is one of the reasons. So I would say when it comes to peak week, your stress has to be low as possible.
Yes.
If your stress is over the roof, you are not going to bring your best version to the stage.
Yes.
So I would say just trust your coach, trust the process. You are going to be good. So you don't have to take much stress.
Yes, definitely. So one of the things, like for example, I can come across with is like the use of creatine. So some people actually like do things like creating load in like only 1 week prior to the stage, like on peak week, when they haven't used creatine whatsoever. Because one of the things people actually think is the fact that creatine will help you like will make your hold water. It doesn't actually hold water in your body. It goes into your muscle cells, and it will actually help you train better and perform better. So you
And you look
took
fuller as
creatine.
well.
Yes, exactly. So you took creatine right through the process, not just the week, and it didn't change till like the last day where you actually going through the show. Like I didn't want you to change it. Even the water, we didn't actually change it. We just told you to sleep early, like a little bit
Yeah,
early.
even on the show day,
There was
I
delay.
had 3 liters
Yes.
just before the
Because
stage. was-
the problem was the fact that there were like I think it was 7 hours delay. Like I usually planned it like around like I thought like it'll be done by 3. Or I was like shit, it still keeps going. I just watched a movie, and I finished like 2 movies during that time. I just realized. So I just remember recalling that memory because your shows were not like starting. And how was that process during that place? Like how did you manage to handle it? Like to be patient till you actually got the chance.
Yeah, so one of the things that I used to kept doing is sending you pictures.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you kept an eye on that, how my condition is changing. But I would say uh, my body did not change drastically.
Yes.
Some flatness was there, but just couple of shortcuts in and some pump up, I was good.
Yes, exactly.
So
Because
yeah, I would say I was lucky
yeah.
because lot of people they get messed up when the show times are here and there.
Yes.
Some people they cannot handle it,
Yeah.
and as a result, their body uh, gets into like a different condition. So
Yes.
I was lucky it did not happen with me.
Yes.
And even on the first show to last show, like I was on the stage for, I guess, on my first show, I was on the stage for 5 times, as I remember. All those 5 times I was full and I was super shredded. So
Yes.
no spill, nothing. And I won the Classic Physique Pro card, and the last show was men's physique, and I just missed it by 99.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
you
yeah,
won the pro card there.
yeah,
Yeah, so definitely, like one of the things, like we actually had that as an advantage during the Mumbai show is actually like I loaded the carbs way in the morning early. Like asked you to, as I remember, I asked you to wake up around 6 a.m. in the morning or somewhere around that because I planned like 11 p.m. and then all you had to do was just make sure to fill it up a little bit because the load you had, like you had time to like pump up. All you had to do was just a small pump up. So that's where like the stress was a little bit very low during that time, even though it was getting delayed like for a longer time. So one of the things it's important as a coach and a client is to actually stay accountable to the coaches because Suhail never missed updating a picture or like updating his meals during the process because even after the show was done, you actually recovered well because you had was oats after the show.
yeah, yeah, those,
Because
yeah.
usually people have cheat meals from outside, but you actually focused on the recovery, and that's what actually led you towards the next off season where you focused on really on growth, right? How
Yeah.
did that
So,
process go?
so what happens with a lot of people, just after the competition, they start binging.
Yeah.
If you start binging, you will end up putting on a lot of fat mass.
Yeah.
As a result, you will not be able to have that long off season.
Yes.
So in 2 to 3 months again, you will have to come back for a cut. So which is not a good thing if you really want to grow.
Yes.
So that was in my mind. So I always controlled my appetite. Anyway, even just after your competition, even you eat an elephant, still you are going to be hungry.
Yes.
So yeah, so
yeah, exactly. Because
it's
you're
all
gonna
we-
be hungry anyway.
yeah. So we controlled our appetite, everything we controlled for 6 months, and just after the show, it is still the same. It
Yes.
is still the same. Nothing
Exactly.
changes.
So
So if you can
you-
control during the prep,
Yeah.
why don't you?
Because one of the things I noticed was your abs were never invisible even during off season. Like you put on like 10, 12 kilos during off season. Like that actually like was actually like leading you towards the next phase where you actually pulled off like 210 with the deadlift. That's where the performance were really starting to show because during the 6 months initially we did towards Mumbai, like we were actually basically focusing on the gains you have made for the past 5 years, like doing the things you've done. But the next 11 months before the WNBF show is where you actually like focused on the growth, where before we actually went on a 20-week contest prep, right? In 2024, right?
Yeah, coach. So that was the first proper off season, and that year I would say everything was on point, even meals, even right now. But that was the first off season. Yeah. So training wise, good improvement in strength,
Yeah.
and execution wise, exercise execution wise, everything is on point, and lot of PRs. So I would say that is the reason, along with proper nutrition, that was the reason I was able to put on a lot of muscle tissues in 12 months.
Yeah.
Like I would say my performance cruised that year. Just after my recovery phases, I was just pushing, and yeah, always coming back to you. I'm not getting recovered. My fatigue is high, then deloads, then again pushing back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
so that
not,
off season,
yeah. Go ahead.
that off season was initially it was around 8 to 9 months straight. So that should be the goal, to stay in that surplus as long as possible. So that is what really going to grow you.
Yes, exactly. Because one of the things we actually did was like every 4 to 6 weeks, we actually made an assessment on how you're feeling. Is your fatigue level is high? So if it is high, like that's where we actually implement a deload. It doesn't need to be like in 4 weeks. Some people reach it in about 6 weeks time. I'm talking about men mainly. So 6 weeks time, or some people 8 weeks. It depends on the person. So Suhail was hitting it around 6 to 8 weeks marks.
Yeah.
He was actually focusing good. So tell us about like how you felt about the two achievements so far you have made, like being the first time competing as ICN and you won the pro card there in Classic Physique. That's actually your first time for ICN Sri Lanka. And then you winning WNBF pro card. How did you feel like after winning that?
Yeah, I'm super proud because and both of them are so special for me because competing for the first time and turning pro is not an easy task. Not
Yes.
not everyone has that chance. So just that is also just within 6 to 7 months of training and small off season and 16 weeks of prep, and that was super special for the first time, definitely. And on that season I missed that pro card, men's physique pro card.
Yeah, just by one.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely when it comes to WNBF, that is I would say that is my biggest achievement so far, because no one has, as I mentioned early in the podcast, no one has that pro card from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And that is super special, and we are definitely waiting for one more in bodybuilding. If I can bring my hamstrings and glutes a little bit bigger next time,
Exactly. That's where we are working, right? Yeah. So how about your future plans? Like, we actually want to like go with bodybuilding as well as a division, so that will actually make you like focus, do like all three divisions. Like if we can actually win the pro card, like bodybuilding, that's actually where we are actually focusing on, and also like focus on probably like doing physique and classic few more times, like, and in the next couple of years that's where we are going to go. So tell us about your future plans, and like how excited are you like to be a men's bodybuilding athlete as well?
Yeah, I'm super excited because sometimes I feel when it comes to men's physique, so you do like 6 months of hard work and you just do 4 quarter turns, and does not make sense. For me, it's my opinion. So it's a huge division when it comes to the world. If you see India, so men's physique is the biggest division in India. So, but for me, it is always a challenge. So if you can switch your category from men's physique to bodybuilding, you are putting some work. You are definitely bringing that balance. So that is a challenge. That is definitely a challenge for me. So I have no idea. Like, I don't have that in my mind that I want to win the pro card. I want to win this show. I want to beat someone or nothing like that. I just want to bring my best self, like better than the last show. So that is just the goal. So definitely we have made some good improvements in my legs. So the balance is coming out right now. Upper body to lower body, the balance is definitely there right now. Small part, the glutes and hams still working on, because for me, I always think about that bringing the best. I know there will be, for everyone, there will be lagging or weak muscle areas. So yeah, so that is bodybuilding. So that is body. If you want to bring your best shape, you have to nail everything.
Exactly. Yes, definitely. So thank you so much, Suhail, for joining on our podcast. We starting the podcast, and we can actually like bringing in more guests, and I'll be actually discussing about more topics with regards to fitness and how you're supposed to maintain life, and like all the things like I can actually relate to all the clients we actually work with. So thank you, Suhail, for joining in, and have a great day, and talk to you soon. And actually hope to make you become a men's bodybuilding pro as well in the future. So that's where we are working, like going through a long process that will take you like more than 5 years as well. Thanks for joining in, Suhail, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you, Pushpa.